All right, so welcome back to Introduction to Synthesizers, a free course that will teach you all the skills you need to start working with synths. So by now, we should be pretty familiar with the three-step process followed by all synthesizers. Step 1 is to produce a raw sound, step number 2 is to modify that sound, and step number 3 is to amplify it so it can be heard. Today, we're going to learn more about one of the most fundamental and useful tools for modifying sounds, step 2, and that is the LFO. We were first introduced to the LFO in our last video, but in this video we will learn two new parameters found in nearly all LFOs, which are trigger reset and polymode versus monomode, both of which involve terms that we've heard before, but we'll be applying them in some subtly new settings today. Together we will learn how these settings can dramatically shape the type of impact your LFOs have on your sound before tackling some simple tips on knowing when and how to apply them. So, with that, let's get started. So by now we know that LFOs are used to introduce movement to your sounds, similarly to an envelope generator. But instead of following a typical ADSR shape with a start and finish, the LFO introduces a repetitive looped type of movement, like this one, where I used a triangle wave shape to slowly move the pitch up and down on repeat. We know this works because an LFO is technically an oscillator, which just produces a sound wave so low in pitch or frequency that we can't even hear it. It's in the name, Low Frequency Oscillator. So in other words, this little LFO is producing a super low-pitched triangle wave. And I'm telling my synth, hey, move the pitch knob so it follows the shape and speed of this sound wave. And that's basically how an LFO works. Now, the really cool thing is that since all of this is built around oscillators, we can apply some of what we've learned earlier in this series to get more creative with our sounds. For example, way back in lesson 3, we learned about trigger or phase reset, where you can forcibly reset a sound wave to a specific point every time you start a new note. So, why not apply that to your LFO? By default, most LFOs will run with the phase or trigger reset turned off. Instead, they'll stay synced to a specific rate, like we learned in the last video. This creates a constant feel for your pattern, which we can observe here in Reactor, by the arrow on our volume knob constantly following the shape of our triangle wave. It doesn't matter if I play multiple notes, the pattern remains fixed at a constant rate, ignoring the start of each new note and just continuing ahead with the pattern. However, most synths will also include a re-trigger option, which, as we know, forcibly resets your sound wave each time you play a new note. So every single time I play a new note, we can see how it forces my LFO to jump back to the starting point, no matter where it is in the pattern before I press the new key. Here in Reactor, it's a modular setup, which means I have to manually set up the retrigger by connecting the wires to the proper outputs and inputs. In a synth like Massive X, it's much simpler. Trigger reset off is called loop, and trigger reset on is called loop reset. As you can see, there are multiple other options available in Massive X as well, each of them being variations of either trigger phase on or off. Every synth is going to have their own additional options. We know that by now, but these two options of having it on or off are traditionally going to be found in almost every single synth you ever find. Regardless of which direction you go with, these options give you additional control over the personality and the complexity of your sound. When active, every new note you play will reset your LFO pattern, no matter where in the cycle it happens to be. Essentially, giving your LFO traits similar to an envelope, where each and every note you play shares a distinct attack quality and sound. When it's turned off, your pattern remains married to the click, no matter which rate you've assigned it to. Pretty cool, right? Now, we're going to talk about applying this information in a bit, but first we need to talk about our second tool, which is poly versus mono mode. Again, this is something we learned way back in video number 5. Oscillators and synths can be set to either monophonic mode, meaning only one note at a time, or polymode, meaning multiple notes can be played at the same time. Well, LFOs are oscillators, right? It's in the name, low frequency oscillator. So the same idea can be applied here. Most synthesizers will have a simple way to toggle polymode on or off in your synth. In Massive X, we have it down here, where mono can be toggled on or off. When mono mode is off or polymode is on, each and every note you play will get its own LFO cycle, its own little unique pattern to follow, because your LFO is producing multiple sound waves. When polymode is turned off and mono mode is turned on, then your LFO becomes monophonic, meaning each and every note you play polyphonically will follow the same exact LFO cycle, because your LFO is producing only one sound wave. It should be noted that this is separate from your synth's poly/mono modes. So a synth can technically be polyphonic, but still have an LFO set to mono mode. Now, this information is important because it introduces all sorts of weird possibilities when combined with your LFO's trigger or phase reset. For example, when poly mode is on, each note follows its own LFO cycle. If trigger reset is off, then nothing special is going to happen, because each and every LFO cycle will follow the same exact rate. But with trigger reset on, things become super chaotic, because each and every note you play will trigger an entirely brand new LFO cycle, each one layering on top of the others, out of sync, because they follow their own unique rate. With mono mode active, each and every note you play will follow the same exact LFO cycle. So with trigger reset off, nothing happens. Every note follows the same pattern, synced to the same rate. But with trigger reset on, every single note will forcibly reset the LFO pattern for all the other notes being played. Pretty cool, right? But how on earth is any of this useful? Well, it's all about the type of sound you're trying to create. If you want a super rhythmically precise sound, something like a pluck or a bass, where you need to reliably hit the beat, then you will want trigger reset turned on. If you're looking to create a more organic or ambient sound, like background textures or pads, then trigger reset can be turned off. If you want a reliable sense of uniformity with the movement of your LFO being in sync with the movement of all the other notes, then you will want mono mode turned on. And if you want to introduce a bit more chaos to your sound, a sense of independence between each note, then poly mode should be turned on. Another way to think about this is to just ask yourself 2 questions. Do I want the impact of this LFO to be the same every time I press a note? If yes, trigger reset should be on. If no, turn it off. Question number 2, do I want each note to have its own motion, or should all notes share the same motion? If you want different motion, use poly mode. If shared, use mono mode. Now, before we end this video, we do need to take a moment to address how this step can fit into your general workflow. First, I would start by deciding which type of synth I'm trying to create. In this case, a lead, a pluck, a pad, or a bass. Then I would select an initial oscillator to use as a reference for setting up my amp envelope. This is also where I would decide to set up my synth as being monophonic or polyphonic. Once I have it set up, I would experiment with my oscillator configuration and consider using unison to create the sound I want, making small tweaks to my amp envelope as necessary before experimenting with filters. Once my initial sound is set up, I would then begin experimenting with how LFOs or envelope generators to various parameters of my synth can help provide additional personality and color to my sound, as well as how portamento and or legato mode can help contribute to the personality of my instrument. And this is where I would start considering whether trigger or phase reset and mono or poly mode would be most useful for the sound I'm trying to create with my LFOs. As you can probably tell, there's going to be a lot of moving back and forth between various steps when making a synth. And that's okay. It's not supposed to be dogmatic or linear. You're allowed to play around and experiment. All right? The point of having a workflow is to just very simply help reduce choice paralysis, which is, as you know, super common in sound design. And using only what we've learned in these first 6 videos, we've already been able to create a wide variety of interesting and unique sounds. If you would like to see me demonstrate this workflow to create new sounds, I host weekly live streams for channel members where I apply each new lesson to create new and interesting sounds. All streams are recorded so members can revisit and watch them as many times as they'd like. So, with all that taken care of, we have reached the end of another video, my friends. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a patron or channel member. Today, we've added the following items to your new synth checklist. If you find yourself working with a new synth and you can identify these simple tools, you will be that much closer to mastering your new instrument. Today, a special thank you goes to my patrons and channel members for making videos like this one possible. If you'd like to become a patron or channel member, links are in the description of this video. You can also use the affiliate link in the description of this video to grab a copy of any of the synths used in these videos so far and follow along with the rest of the series. So until next time, my friends, keep studying, keep working hard, and keep writing new music. I will see you in the next video.